Hey guys, back up here in Michigan, and I'm going to do a little window repair for Adam again on his, what is this, 72?
72
Mark IV. He's got the same thing. Gear kit, window motor runs, window doesn't move. So it's been a while since I've had a Mark IV door panel apart, so bear with me, but I'm pretty sure we get it done. So first thing we're going to do is get these switches out of here with the Phillips screwdriver. I will tell you, these two Phillips screws right here aren't original. They shouldn't be there. There's like a door panel clip should be back here, so somebody has repaired this not correctly. Lift up on the front, pull out. And I'm probably going to need, I was expecting a Phillips. I'm going to grab probably a 9/32. That's not it. What size? Maybe a 9mm. Yep. For some reason, a 9mm always works well on these. So it's probably an 11/32 in standard. You can just squeeze this little light here for your ashtray. Pull off the power wire, pull off the ground wire. We'll take these Phillips screws out here that don't belong. Pretty sure the armrest has to come completely off of this car before the door panel will come off.
Kind of like the Continentals.
Yeah, I think it's the case with all the Thunderbirds, Mark IVs, Mark Vs. Yeah. I've never worked on a 72 Mark before. Of course, you have to spin this off. Just we'll get that done. I've worked on a lot of the 74, 5, 6 Marks. Probably two Phillips screws in here. Really tight. Same thing here. Squeeze this to get your light off. Unplug your power and your ground. I think that this slides off.
You have to get the door handle off?
One way or another, or it could be held on with clips. Yeah, the door handle has to come off as well. This either has clips under it, like door panel clips, or some of them slide one way or the other. And I've got a feeling this one has clips.
Oh, to get the little top pad off?
Yeah, there's screws behind here we got to get to.
What is that tool you're using called?
A door panel clip remover tool, I guess.
A door panel clip remover tool.
I just always prefer to use plastic, but they're so tough on these old metal clips that they pretty much leave you no choice. Yeah, see, we got to get the screws back here.
Oh.
And see, this one's broke, so it's missing. There's still one here.
I never would have thought that you have to take the top pad of the armrest out.
Well, that's why you called me.
That is. Is that why? Do you have to do that for the 73 Marquis as well with the
No.
soft? No?
No.
Oh.
The door panel comes off of the Marquis. I believe these are 3/8. I'm going to go ahead and take this off It's a big Phillips, I think. These aren't fun to put back on.
No, I did that on my 72 Continental, and I had to get it back before I called you. And then getting it back on was not fun.
And there's usually some along the bottom.
Wow, this door panel is more intricate.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff that's got to come off.
This is the first non-mini vent mark that I've ever worked on.
Oh wow.
I know it doesn't have your favorite option.
We got to get Adam some power mini vent cars.
Hi, excuse me. Adam, did you leave my person?
Now there's two here. See, this is all broken up already.
Wow.
It's very common for these to crack just because. But these two top ones are holding this part. Somebody should really repop these armrests.
I just don't think there's enough demand, unfortunately.
But they're all broke.
I know, but
I mean,
yeah. Well, that could be Tony Lawler Enterprises. Next,
There you go.
right?
I do make shifter handles for 68 to 71 Galaxies out of plastic, but this would take an awful big mold.
Yeah.
How? Okay, now I'm really mad. Yeah, see, this piece is broke. You know I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But what makes me mad is, see, this is still intact, and it just pops in this hole right here. So a door panel clip slides down in here, pops right in that hole. There's no reason for someone to have drilled holes through there and ruined it,
Yeah.
because it's all still intact. You just stick it up there and boom, it clips in.
Huh.
Like I say, I usually always use plastic so I don't scratch anything, but these door panel clips are so tough, and when I was up here last time I broke that one plastic one.
That's right, yeah.
You know. This one's already loose here. It's kind of loose all the way up there. I definitely like the later ones when they came up with the plastic Christmas tree type door panel clips.
Oh, as opposed to the metal spring clips?
Yeah. A lot of these were already loose or missing.
Oh, I just heard one fall out. This is why I don't do this job.
We're gonna have to unplug this.
You got it.
It could have been off because the tape is coming off pretty easy. And as I said in some of my other videos, I do have a Mark V at home, that actually gonna cut the door skin off of because it's junk. And cut the door skin off the outside. I'm gonna show you guys how the mini vent works on it and all the grease points on it. I'll just lay this over, I think. I need to get this tape off. Now, Ford normally gives you little dimples to show you where to drill. You know what? I think they did it for us again. I don't think we're going to have to drill any holes. I think I can get to all of them. Here's the motor plugs. We got to unplug that. And we just as well take the speaker out because
You want
I like
some
to come
lithium
out
grease
that.
too, Tony?
Yes, I will want some grease when it comes time to put it back.
I will say that the Fords like this Mark, this is a great riding car. It's incomparable to the Eldorado is incomparable to this car. I own a 72 Eldorado and a number of them, and this car is much better.
I drove an Eldorado 69.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just no weight in the back. It's just like
Well, the
boom, 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 boom. Compared to the Mark III, it was just like, what?
Yeah, you know what you're feeling is the 3/4 length frame and the single leaf rear spring. They don't have a full perimeter frame on those.
Yeah, and even though in the interiors it just seems so much more superior to Cadillac, the Mark III's just put together so much better.
It is. The 3's even put together better than the 4. The 3 is like the high water mark, aside from the Mark II.
Now, I've had 72 and 3 and 4 Fords with power windows, and you had to drill holes. So I don't know. I mean, it has little dimples to show you where to drill. So I don't know what's up with the why Lincoln gave you these access holes and the Ford didn't. But this one on this side doesn't look that easy. It's not like dead on.
Are you just reaching in there to support the window motor when it drops, basically?
Well, I'm trying to get the screws out with my fingers to keep them from dropping. I almost need to take this speaker completely out. This one I'm not sure about. Yeah, I think I'm getting on it.
Probably that build variation, it's just slightly off center. It's the only car I've ever had where if you're sitting in the driver's seat, you can't see the brake pedal because the dash is so tall.
Okay, so I just ran into something that I didn't anticipate running into.
Yes.
This motor has a bracket attached to the back of it. It comes over and it's attached to this rivet, so we have to drill this rivet out. And I didn't bring rivets because I wasn't figuring on. So we're going to have to find a little nut and bolt or something to put that in, or technically you don't need it. A lot of the 60s and early 70s Fords had that bracket, but then they just quit doing it, even using the same motor. But this rivet has got to be drilled out because the motor is attached to it. Or let me think. You know what? It's loose enough that maybe. What's so funny, Charlie? Oh.
We got a little hang on
Using
here.
Adam's newfangled.
There we go. I think we're fixed.
Still learning.
That's all right. This is a high quality production.
Yeah, it is. Very high quality.
I think that maybe I can take this bracket off
Here, look in there with this.
the back of the motor. Well, I think I can do it by feel, because I think it's 5/16 as well, and it already feels pretty loose. So, I may not have to drill that rivet out.
Oh, you got it.
It took, not only did it take
Oh, it took the
nut
stud.
off, it took the whole stud out of the motor, but that's okay, because it'll go right back in there and the bracket's still attached to it. So. Like I say, normally these have plenty of grease in them already. And usually at home too, I've got a little roll around stool that I'm sitting on.
Well, next time, Tony, I'll get one to.
Are you getting this, Charlie? I think they've seen enough of my videos, they can see how this is done, but.
Yeah. Roll pin, torque pin replacement.
I'm waiting for one time that we take it apart and everything's fine.
Well, don't hold your breath.
Yeah, this was great. I got it out for the season. I put the window down. Then I thought, oh, it's a hot day. I'll put the air conditioning up, push the button to roll the window up, and it went up about halfway, and then I hear, and, oh no, again.
Are you doing a little quick
I am.
before you go up and down like I told you to?
Yes. I think this one, I wasn't before though, so I'm sure that I didn't help it. These rear window motors are so funny on the opera window cars because they only retract about 1.5 inches.
I was thinking something like 2.2 inches,
Well, maybe,
I think.
but it after about 1 second,
Yeah, I've had to work on those too, and those aren't fun.
there's not really any sense of opening them.
No, it's goofy. Thunderbird was the same way. I've never had a problem with these. And I have a lot of vehicles with these in them. I've bought a lot of vehicles that needed repair, and once I fixed them, I've never had one go bad again. And I've probably said this in my videos before, that it's so much easier to do this with a vise on a workbench.
You have to improvise out in the field, right?
I know.
Maybe someday you'll just be the mobile mechanic. You get a truck and you drive around the U.S. and repair people's cars.
John Cashman made a really good living doing
Oh, he
that.
did, yeah. Did he retire?
Yes, sold everything.
I wonder to whom.
His name was Tim, down in Florida, and he died.
The guy that John Cashman sold it to?
Mm-hmm. So now his whole estate has been all cleared out, and it's all a thing of the past.
Wow. So there's nobody servicing the Continental convertibles, the suicide door convertibles?
I don't even think that the guy that John sold to continued to do it. I think he just bought everything. And I don't think that he...
Wow. He just bought all the parts.
Yeah, I think he just bought him out for some reason, and then he got sick and died. I was offered some of that stuff, but I just didn't want to drive all the way to Florida. Can't think what his last name was. Tim something. I'll let you get rid of this, Adam, before I step in a pile of grease.
Okay.
And then we'll see if I can stab this stud back in the motor. I don't ever remember seeing, I've seen a lot, that's just an L bracket. It comes off the motor and then comes over here, just an L. But normally it's a little screw.
Huh.
I've never seen it riveted.
Maybe 72 only thing?
Even the 68s, my 68 Fords had that. Yeah, it was just a little bitty bolt. And then you just get your motor back up on here. If you can. I think it fell into place. I do like to do these videos in real time just to show everybody that, you know, it's not a picnic. You have to have patience.
Well, and you're
You know,
doing
things
it.
don't just fall into place.
I think if I were doing this, you got to multiply by about 4.
Well, that's another thing, you know, I'm used to doing it at home, in my shop, on my little stool, and I know where everything's at, and I just got everything thrown in bags. Come up here, so. It does go better when you're in your own environment.
Yeah, of course.
I can tell you that Ford used this motor from 65 clear up. I mean, the same one will work in a 97 F25350.
Really?
Yeah, they flatten them out a little bit, but
Huh.
they do still work. All right. You could stop it a minute, Charlie, because I'm just going to finish tightening up this one bolt in here. And we're going to grease it up just to save a little bit of screen time. All right, we got the motor back in. If you're going to work on a 72, I guess, plan on this rivet being here. Later ones, I don't recall running into that. 4, 5, 6, and Mark 5s, I don't believe they've got this. So it's okay. We took the hose stud and everything came out with that. I would have thought that just the nut would have come off of it, but the hose stud came out of the motor, but the motor just slipped right back over it and it tightened back up, so it's not a big deal. We went ahead and greased everything up like we always do the window tracks and this run up and down. So we're going to get this paper back on. Just try to line it up there where the original holes are. It wouldn't hurt to have some original of these metal clips, but we don't have anymore. And this thing, somebody's had it off to start with. It wouldn't hurt to grab some of these. You can get them at Napa. Plug your light back in. Plastic piece goes right here. Might not be able to keep it there until we go to put that back on. I think Adam went in to put his son to bed. That one broke too. All right. Now remember, you shouldn't have these screw holes in your armrest of your Mark IV. So you've got one of those metal door panel clips back here that's just going to pop right into this hole right here, just like the rest of them do. That's what you're looking for. And this one's got a lot of broken pieces. Guess we'll go ahead and put these back in to hold it in place. I'd rather have that repaired and use the correct clip if it was mine. What did I do with my nut driver? There it is. Well, this armrest is really starting to crack up. And I haven't got this bottom one started in the right spot. That one's missing. I put this piece back in.
Give me a whole light for you, Tony?
I can see, it's just trying to figure out, you know, I should look at this. I don't really remember that being that up off there, but oh, I see, there's a rivet. A rivet needs to slide under this. There's a rivet coming up through the bottom, and this plastic here is sitting on top of it. It's cracked right where the rivet goes, so it's got to be slid into it, so it's not off like that. We'll be at the Old Car Festival tomorrow at Greenfield Village. For the first time I've been there. To that car show. Actually, both days, Saturday and Sunday. Now, when it comes time to put this back on, I like to leave this top part off.
So you can stick a screwdriver.
So I can stick a screwdriver or something in there and pry that out, get on it. Go ahead and pause that, Charlie, so I don't cuss on film. We're on? Alright guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. That little black piece needs to go on before the armrest, and I wasn't going to fight that because I'm not going to lie, this isn't easy to get on. So get that little plastic sleeve slipped on there before the door panel goes on, and then you just got to kind of hold this handle up, and you got to get that screw started with your fingers like that, and then you can pretty well get it finger tight, and then you can pull this out. And then you can get the big Phillips screwdriver on it like here and finish tightening it up. So it's very doable. It's just that I don't want to eat up all that camera time. I'm like I say, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not fun, but it's doable. So there's that. It's starting to get dark and I'm starting to freak out. This isn't going to be easy to see either. We got one back there, we got two here, two here, two here, and one up here. There we go. Now we can put this back on. This thing's clearly been out of here. It's all loose. Two Phillips screws. That's pretty tight. It is easier though. There's that one. The rest of it is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll stay on. Clip that in, hook up your ground, power. On the later Mark IVs and Mark Vs, you're going to have an extra switch here for the door lock. This one is one of these that has power lock on this knob up here. When you push either side down, it locks them both, and pull it up, unlocks them both. See there, I push that, pull it up, does driver's and passenger side both. 74, they put the switch here with the window and seat. It may be by 73 they did, I'm not sure, but by 74 it was definitely over here. Ground came off. Stick your clips under the back. You got one Phillips screw. There we go. Torque pin replacement on a 72 Mark IV. That's all there is to it. So, again, please like the video and please subscribe. I appreciate you watching. We are going to replace this door pull on the other side, but you guys know how to take the door panel off, so I'm just going to get that done for Adam real quick before we call it a night. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.